favor. Real hot, but they said to never date her. I agree, but you did it and I hate her. You wanna get away? You better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 Hey man, can I get a favor? Yeah, sure, hot, no, see you later. Sometimes I just wanna be a hater. Gotta wash down the top 40s with a chaser. Your voice starts feeling like a waiter, scraping my mind against a cheese grater. Before you go, sir, you have to sign a waiver. That's alright, I'm aware of the danger. You wanna get away? You better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 No filter, I got no filter.
Evening, Clayton.
Well, good evening, Jamie. How we doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm just happy I made it here on time. It was a heck of a day for me today.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to put the chats up. Here they come, guys.
Yeah.
Let's run through them. Corey says, hey, good evening. Good to see you, Corey. Trappist, good to see you here tonight. 'Cause I'll be here as long as I can. I bet you him and I are in the same boat. We're calving. So I told Jamie, don't be surprised all of a sudden you see a blank screen and I'm gone. We got a heifer starting to calve right now. So hey, Braden. All right. Hey, thanks, Braden. Yeah, we had to, as you probably know, Jamie, we had to put our oldest dog down this week, and I can tell you that was it's tough, but it's part of ownership, and it's one of them unfortunate things. Everything passes, and Sunday was his day. So yeah, we're gonna miss that one. Braden was actually with us, so it was kind of nice to have him there with Leighton. And Kevin, we got him here. Hey, Kevin. Good evening from Pennsylvania, I see. So Eric, I hope, and I'm sure you can see us, I hope you and I are enjoying the same refreshments, but mine's out of a Lauer Auto Repair.
Yeah.
Waylon, good to see you.
Yeah, I saw Waylon at a gun auction there on Saturday and had a few cold ones with him. Yep.
I take it he didn't buy anything?
No, he's gonna few. Well, he tried to, but they didn't see us back there a couple times.
Well, it's okay, saved him some money, right?
Yeah.
Chantel. Yep, I made it. Hey guys, it's good to see her. And
Thanks,
Dan, glad you're listening. By the way, Dan, I got your 2X shirt here. So we just got to get the logo printed off, and we'll have that ready for you very soon. So we do have the shirt in our hand now, so we're ready to rock and roll on that.
Awesome.
Yep. Oh, thanks, Lynette. Yeah, I seen Lynette had sent us a message before. I appreciate that. Like I said, it's always tough when you lose those pets, and we're getting quite a cemetery out back here. But as it's cold and frozen, we put him on ice, so it'll be a little while before we can actually bury him.
So what do you got for a weapon tonight, Clay?
Actually, I didn't even grab one.
Yeah, all right. Well, I got mine, Smith & Wesson. I'm going 22 tonight.
You're going to go 22?
22, Smith & Wesson 22 Victory. Pretty sweet little handgun. One of my favorite 22s ever, actually.
I always have a few, at hand. This is a Savage 110, and this is a Predator, and it's in the 223. And
oh yeah, I remember those from the NRA banquets.
I actually won this one at an NRA banquet.
Oh, home cooking.
So you gotta love it. You know what? This baby here, This baby is accurate. I can't complain at all about this. That's right. These are a Model 11, not a Model 110. But I've shot this a lot, and this is a
those are
jack
nice.
driver. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they got like kind of a semi little like a heavy barrel, not a bull on them, right? Kind of a medium contour.
Yeah, it's kind of a medium barrel. So yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Detachable assault clip.
So, only for MVEs.
yeah, we didn't see our MBE. Well, he
No.
might be having some cabin going on this evening too.
Well, why don't you start us off with this tonight, Jamie? I'll let you do it.
Yeah, all right, let's do it, baby. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Amen. Absolutely. I can't stress enough how important the Second Amendment is, and I think everybody's starting to see just how important this is going to be here in the near future. And it kind of leads into our first topic tonight, I would say.
Oh yeah, big time it does. Absolutely. Perfectly into it. Clay, you want to start off on this one, bud?
Sure, no problem.
Right,
I can do that. So Kennedy, which is Senator John Kennedy, guy, he's a Republican from Louisiana. I know that's odd to hear a Republican by the name Kennedy, but it does exist. He's a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and of course, Senator Lindsey Graham, who, Rush used to call him Leaky Lindsey, and he still merits that title. But on certain issues, he comes through. He does. He flip flops so much across that line, but he's good on this one. Anyway, he joined Senator Kennedy in introducing the Respect for the Second Amendment Act, and the goal is to protect an individual's right to keep and bear arms. Now, yes, we all have it. We just read it, Second Amendment. We already have it, but that don't mean nothing to the leftists and the tyrants and the commies. They don't care. And I like what he said here. He goes, Congress has the ability to use its authority to guard against state overreach, which I agree. And what this bill does is accomplish that. At a time when the constitutional right to keep and bear arms is under attack in courtrooms throughout America, and we've seen this everywhere, even North Dakota, we must ensure that the Supreme Court's decision, and they're talking about the Bruen case, is not only a legal precedent, but the law that preserves it forever. And he added this. He said, the Supreme Court has spoken very clearly in Heller and Bruen on the Second Amendment. We have an individual right to own a gun. And I love that. He says, on the topic of gun ownership, I own several. I love that it's the answer, but I do. I own a handgun just in case. I thought that was kind of fun.
Oh, Bruen, it covers your right to carry one too, not just to own, but to carry.
Absolutely. That's just it, guys. I don't think people understood just how important that Bruen decision is. And now we're starting to see it. I mean, we're seeing it all across the United States in different district courts and different federal appellate courts. They're now going back to Bruen. And some of the cases have been dropped because they absolutely know that if it goes to the Supreme Court now, guess what? Bruin's going to be that beacon. It's going to be that precedent that they're going to refer back to. So I love the fact that Bruen happened, and I love the fact that now you got these judges stepping up, you got senators stepping up, and they're doing things like this. So why don't you tell us what's in this act? You got that paperwork?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do got that. So the Respect for the Second Amendment Act here. Yeah, let's go into this here a little bit. To create public and private rights of action against any person who seeks to enforce a law, rule, or ordinance that violates the constitutional right of an individual to manufacture for personal use, acquire, possess, own, carry, transport, or use a privately owned firearm or privately owned ammunition unless that law is consistent with the U.S. Constitution and history of firearms regulation. So, yeah, we can go back. There's a second part to it here. I'll get to a little bit, but we can go back and the nation's history.
You just been laughing at Travis.
I was laughing at the history of firearms regulation, but I did see. We'll go to Travis's comment here. I was laughing at one earlier to myself. David Hogg for NRA CEO. Well, the thing is, Travis, there's a lot of people that think Wayne LaPierre is just as bad as David Hogg, which is completely freaking ridiculous. But they do go that way on some things, and whatever. I mean,
I squat the P too.
Yeah. Yeah, but this basically just protects already what's in this. It codifies it
Yes.
You know, Clay, maybe you can define what codifying something into the Constitution and Bill of Rights is a little better than I can.
Yeah, basically, you know, and I wish the Supreme Court would act more like this. The Bill of Rights is not up for interpretation. The Supreme Court's job, and they're getting better at it, is to interpretate law according to the Constitution. The Constitution is finite. It's not this living document like the commies in these public schools teach. The only way you can change it is with a constitutional amendment. And that's only been done 17 times after we adopted the first 10. I mean, there's only 27 amendments, and one of those has been rescinded, and that was the Halstead Act, prohibition. So, I mean, when you look at it, there's only
thankfully.
26. Yeah, thankfully. Well, maybe. I'd probably been a very rich man now if it was still illegal. 'Cause I wouldn't have cared. Just like I always said, if guns become illegal, you're looking at a millionaire right here. I will never conform. But anyway, so when they codify something into law, it's just basically saying, yep, we also, whether it's a state, whether it's a county, whether it's a municipality, we also recognize that right. We're going to put it into our structure and just strengthen already what's in the Second Amendment. So it's great. I like seeing it, and that's what they're doing here, guys. I'll let you go on with that.
Because Biden wants to codify abortion, which isn't even actually in the Bill of Rights.
No, it's not.
You know, people can get pissed off about that all they want, but it's not in the first 10 amendments. It's not a Bill of Rights. It is a 10th Amendment issue, which means if it's not in the Bill of Rights, it goes back to the states to decide.
And that's why they overturned it, because it should have
rightfully
ever been. They rightfully did the right thing in the Dobbs decision, and now it's returned to the states, and that's where that argument belongs, in the states.
So yeah, this is a Senate bill. I don't think it's ever going to get out of the Senate, but I like doing it anyways. I would love it if this would come to the floor of the Senate for a vote. I think all bills like this should, so you know exactly where people stand on things like this.
And I think that's an important point, Jamie. People always say, "Well, how come they're doing it? It's never going to pass. Biden will never sign it," because it puts these people on record, so that when they come out and say, "Oh no, I support the Second Amendment," but well, no, they don't, because they got a but in there. And I mean, no, we support it as long as you do this, this, and this, and this. We're going to do all these things that are illegal and unconstitutional. By the way, we're going to tell you how many how large a magazine you can have, and how many rounds you can have, and what color it can be, and you know the gamut of what they do. So no, I love this idea, because make these people show who they are, and then throw it at them.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. So there's a second part to this thing too, Clay, and I might need you to clarify a little bit. Part 2 here: prohibit states from rejecting firearm licenses on the sole basis of the license originating under another state's jurisdiction. Eliminate 18 U.S. Code 927 so that on a case-by-case basis, Congress can override state law when it proves an unconstitutional attempt to override the Second Amendment.
So the prohibition of states from rejecting firearms, like basically that's what we've been asking for years. National reciprocity.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but yeah,
then we haven't been able to get it through, and we had the best chance to get that in the Hearing Protection Act back when Trump first took office in 2016. Unfortunately, though, we had Rhino Ryan and Mitch McConnell the Turtle. Both of them guys, we had the Senate and the House, but they hated Trump so much, they were never Trumpers, that they wouldn't even let those come to a floor vote. And I guarantee you, if they would have done it and passed it, Trump would have signed it, and those would both be law today in the United States. So it wasn't the Democrats. The Democrats are always going to be against it. It was our own Republican Party, the Rhino establishment pieces of crap, kind of like Perry Schaefer in North Dakota, that stopped it, period.
Yeah, I mean, they put their personal hatred for our president, who was on their team, ahead of our rights. So, I mean, stuff like that's ridiculous.
Keith, Keith O'Donnell Hovind will probably vote no on that bill. Yeah, you never know with Hovind. So far, he's been pretty good, but he don't have to run for 6 years again. So, yeah, I mean, I could see him doing that, because he knows people forget 6 years like they did this year.
I mean, he better not. Lindsey Graham's on there, for God's sake. Of course, Lindsey said he owns an AR-15 and shoots it, and I guess he does. I don't know that Hovind owns anything but a FUD gun, to be honest with you.
Yeah, who knows? Remember when Hovind came to? Remember when Hovind came to the NRA banquet in Bismarck? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he was mad at me there because
Was he? I
well,
don't know. I've always found him pretty personable, to be honest with you. But whatever. I'm not disagreeing
well,
with what
he
you.
is as long as you agree with everything he says.
Okay.
He came in and we had certain things you cannot talk about, at our banquets.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of stopped and I went over to him and I said, "Hey," I said, "before you speak," I said, "here's some things that are off limits." Well, I'm not going to sign that because that's when NRA was making us having these speakers sign the whatever speaker code of whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want to sign it. And he said, "You don't know who I am." I said, "Yeah, I know you. I know who you are, John." I said, "You're Senator John Hovind." I said, "Don't you remember when we did battle when you were the Attorney General?" Or I mean, not Attorney, the governor.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he didn't remember that because he isn't a Second Amendment as people think. But anyway, he didn't want to do that, and he was mad because we had things he couldn't talk about. And I go, "Well," I said, "if you're not going to sign that," I said, "I can't let you speak." He did sign it finally, but he was pissed off.
I'm surprised he did, but
I wasn't going to let him in if he didn't. He goes, "Well, I want to talk to who's in charge." I said, "You're looking at him." I don't know what to tell you. I don't give a crap who you are.
Oh, but Travis figures AR-15s are for men who kiss men.
Oh no. Hey, Travis, and everybody, we tell you, Travis he's our comic relief. We love having Travis on here. Thank you, Travis. It's always entertaining.
Hey, Brian made it MVA. Was sorry, fellow MVEs. I'm late to. Yeah, we were wondering if maybe you were out dealing with some cattle issues, which Clay had today. But
oh, yeah, I've had that and tractor issues. Nothing runs like a deer because they don't run.
All right, let's do our first. Profit timeout here, Clay, and then, like I said, I'll do the first one. You got that one over here, or do you got to run these?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it over here where we were talking about.
Yep.
And I think it'll run better. I'll give it a whirl here. So yes, let's pay some respect to our sponsors.
All right.
Here's our first sponsor timeout.
Guns in the 701 is proud to be sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. If you can't stop by, feel free to give them a call at 701-258-6308. Doug and the guys are ardent Second Amendment supporters and will always shoot straight with service and fair pricing. It's been a long winter with lots of snow, ice, and rough roads, so now's the time to get that alignment checked from the curb shots, potholes, and bumpy snow-covered roads. Summer will be here before you know it, so get that rig scheduled for an AC charge. Make sure and tell the guys at Lowry you heard the sponsored Guns in the 701 and thank them for supporting and promoting our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota, 701-258-6308.
All right. I think Lauer Auto will do our triple ad here at our next break.
Yeah. Yep.
But we also
Sounds good.
Mandan Sporting Goods. Brandon and the crew over there in Main Street in Mandan got a hell of a selection. That's the only way to put it, right? Guns and ammo. I mean,
yeah,
and
real good.
Like I said, if Joe's there, you got to talk to Joe. Joe just he'll put a smile on your face most likely. I don't know if he still carries that pink gun, but
not that I've seen.
Yeah,
unless he's got that sucker hidden. But he hadn't been there the last couple of times I was in. But and no, Trav, I didn't shoot. Trav sent me a target to shoot. Hopefully I'm going out to Axel's Friday and see if we can shoot that. We got a few things to take out there and shoot, but
for men who kiss men, Chantel's laughing. We also want to thank the blind guy. Hey, give Wyatt and the crew a call over there. I know Lynette got some blinds here ordered up, and I'm telling you guys, you want some professional jobs done, and I think Jamie, you've even helped them, but I can't say enough about these guys. They're patriots. They're local people, and you're just not going to be disappointed. And you know your money's going to a good place when you support the blind guy, Mandan Sporting Goods, and Lauer Auto Repair.
Yeah, absolutely, Clay. So, all right, let's hit on our next topic here. Joe Biden, he isn't a big fan of your right to keep and bear arms, which is painfully obvious. He's made that abundantly clear. One thing he does support, though, is changing laws around marijuana use, Clayton.
He does. He loves pot, I guess. I mean,
I'm indifferent on marijuana. If it's legal, it's legal. like I said on KFYR Plus Monday, and we were on In the Crosshairs with Jay Dillon there.
Right.
Honestly, I think people who are potheads they're a lot less calm than people who get drunk. And I guess I've never seen a guy smoke a joint and then go around and try and fight a bunch of people at a party, but I've seen it many times when people drink too much alcohol. So whatever,
Yeah.
But back to Uncle Joe. President Biden thinks it's unfair that people convicted of simple marijuana possession face lingering consequences for doing something that he says should not be treated as a crime. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
But
even though it's a felony, but okay.
Right. Under federal law, it's a felony punishable by up to 15 years in prison for an quote unlawful user of a quote controlled substance, marijuana, to possess firearms. The ban applies to all cannabis consumers, even if they live in one of the 37 states that have legalized medical or recreational use. That was one of the things here with North Dakota too for it. That's
Yep. Yeah, well, that came up actually when they were passing that and discussing that all the time on the legislative floors. How does that affect the state and federal laws? Because that's what, they're written already. So medical or likewise, there's no differentiation in the federal law, at least not in paper, even though they're not prosecuting it right now. But yeah, it does. When you fill out the 4473, what's one of the questions on there?
Yeah. Are you a marijuana or a drug user?
Yep. And you can't answer that falsely or you've committed a felony. So
like Hunter Biden.
Like Hunter Biden. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I guess a federal judge in Oklahoma ruled last month that ban in there on owning guns, even if you're smoking, if you have cannabis in the states that it's legal, that is not consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation. Which I agree. The founding fathers didn't go, hey man, if you're going to the pub and drinking a bunch of pints, you can't own guns. They said nothing like that.
Nothing. Yep.
I mean, if somebody was out of hand in there, they probably wouldn't took their damn gun away from it so you can come get it in the morning. So they didn't say you're banned forever.
Give it to the bartender and pick it up after.
Yeah. See that? You wrap somebody on the beak.
Tombstone guys got to watch the movie. Eric,
yeah.
I'll explain it to you later.
So Biden's defense of this ban is his Justice Department argues that the people that's covered in the Second Amendment do not include Americans who break the law, no matter how trivial the offense, Clayton. So no matter what small crime you did, that Biden administration and his Department of Justice thinks you shouldn't be allowed to own guns anymore.
Yeah.
But you can, but smoking marijuana is just a minor crime.
Just a minor crime. And it just leads to show everybody. And it's another example of how the Biden administration is anti-gun, no matter what they say. I mean, up and down his administration, himself, his vice president, his Department of Justice, his attorney general. I mean, look at the people in there. And you can see that this is an anti-Second Amendment administration to the core. And they don't really even hide it anymore. I mean, they don't even want 25-year-olds to be able to, anybody under 25 to be able to purchase guns or ammunition on Department of Defense property, for criminy sakes. So,
yeah, well, Kevin says, I know I'm in Pennsylvania. If you have a medical weed card, you aren't allowed to have a firearm at all. Yeah, that's in every state, Kevin. If you do, you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, it's still illegal federally for sure.
Yeah. And Biden wants to give these guys their voting rights back, and not if you get convicted of something, but you don't get your Second Amendment rights back.
No.
You can't have that.
You can't have them now.
So it's not only that. I mean, and they've tried to do this, and I've seen it. Democrats, they try to prohibit people for other offenses to not ever be able to own guns again. I remember thinking this once. I'm like, they're going to try and do it for DUIs, which they tried to do that too.
They have.
And when they did it, I was like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. Yep. So they got whatever petty offense they think you shouldn't own guns, which is an actual right. But Biden thinks you should be good to go because what I say, he said marijuana was what kind of crime did he say it was, Clay? I can't. You shouldn't be. Oh yeah, here we go. People convicted of simple marijuana conviction, shouldn't be treated as a crime. But any other little petty crime, you should lose your Second Amendment rights.
Yes, and that's exactly how he put it too.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, yeah.
And
the marijuana thing, I get asked this all the time because you know me, I'm a strict constitutionalist, right? And usually it's from the libertarian side of things as far as the political spectrum. And, well, how can you support drug laws if you're an actual constitutionalist? Well, I never said I supported drug laws in the sense of what they were thinking. Marijuana, you know what? I'm kind of like you. I don't care. Because there's a law against it, they haven't stopped anything. Now, is it a gateway drug? I think it is, but isn't alcohol? Like you said, I've never seen a pothead go around starting a bunch of fights in the bar, but I've seen a hell of a lot of
every night. You can see that.
Yeah, that go around and they're 10-foot tall and bulletproof. And the reason why I don't drink, I mean, I might have a drink, but I don't get drunk because I get plumb stupid. And, and I know it, so I don't do it. I don't know. I just it's a weed. It's a plant. It's been being smoked literally for a century or better or more centuries. I know that a lot of the Indian tribes used it as a medicinal plant because it numbed your brain. Now, does it kill cells in there? I guess there's plenty of studies that say that, but alcohol does the same.
Right.
So I don't know. To me, I think it's a.
So yeah, maybe if you smoke cigarettes, you should be barred from owning guns too, because your secondhand smoke supposedly is killing a bunch of people.
And then it makes you quite highly addicted. And
you're not trustworthy. You're not trustworthy. That's it. They like a DUIs or whatever. Oh, if you got 3 DUIs, which I actually think they do kind of make that where you can't own. Some states do where you can't own guns now if you get like 3 DUIs.
I think there are some states.
I'm pretty sure. I think Pennsylvania does that. I think
maybe.
Actually,
Kevin, you have to let us know.
Kevin's out there. I think they do. Which I
mean,
I
didn't realize this. Leon's he chimed in here.
He did. Where's he's at?
Right there.
Hey, there
That's lib logic.
Hey man, don't forget about me in that cap when you're back up. You're getting your oil changed at that Colorado, Leon. I want that coyote tan cap when I go to the range, buddy.
Then he said, legalize pot, ban the welfare state. There we go. Keith,
I like that Blackbeard logic, man.
Here's Keith, a buddy of mine. He goes, Clay's a marijuana advocate. See, I'm not a marijuana advocate. I don't have an opinion on it. I really don't. Which now that should surprise you more than anything, Keith. You know me real well. I don't care. Personally, I wouldn't hire somebody that's always high because I think they're a hazard to running heavy equipment or being around cows or.
Yeah, I'm not against weed, but you can't freaking wake and bake and take your lunch and go freaking have a little hit off your pinchy. That's not going to be cool.
Corey, I just watched that episode on my streaming service. He says, got to see the Cheers episode where Cliff explains alcohol. Cliff Clavin.
Well, Cliff maintained pretty good.
Yeah. Leon says, I'll be that way the end of the month. There you go, James.
All right. Awesome.
So Lynette chimed in here. She's like, doctor's offices now have a question about depression and if you own firearms on your physical history. And by the way, I actually, one of my 2A bullet points was going to include that tonight. So
okay,
that was one of mine anyways, talking about how and I can guarantee if a doctor asks me that, what do you think I'm going to tell him to
do? Yeah, I get high all the time. I'm in a great mood and I carry my machine gun with
me. my class 3 weapons.
Yeah. I was in a great mood until your question started depressing me, Doc.
I got to go out to my pickup. I'll be right back. Leon chimed in here again. Despite what they say, I grew up with the wakey bakies. None of them were that productive. I believe that. I can tell you this. I went to college, and I can tell you that the people that smoked dope versus those that didn't, they didn't seem real productive and missed a lot of class. And
see, I got to be honest with you. Most of the guys that I know that smoke weed, I still know. And honestly, almost all them guys are pretty freaking successful.
And I imagine it's like any other drug. It affects everybody differently.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some dopers too. Well, just like, I mean, people that didn't. I mean, I'm just saying there's not a disproportionate amount of people I know who smoke weed or,
Did you read Kenny's comment? I'm all for Biden's 12-step program. If you can't climb 12 steps without tripping, you should not be able to.
Hey, I see Kenny got a bunch of whitetails running around his neighborhood at night, sniffing the garbage cans and everything there. It looks pretty.
Yeah, you don't watch it. You don't want them guys watching your six. That's exactly right.
Oh,
I guess look at Willie Nelson. That guy's been smoking weed for decades, and he's outlived all the guys. So I don't know.
yeah. Hey, Willie's one of them guys that wants to ban ARs.
So he's an anti-gunner. Maybe affected his brain somewhat.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you want one of those to hunt deer for, man? There won't be nothing left, like Whoopi Goldberg, didn't we?
Yeah. Darwin's law will kick in, Kenny. So, alrighty. Well, I'll tell you what. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that one?
Not really. We kind of went down the hemp trail there. We got our pot field. We got to go out and hoe the weeds out of, I guess. But
Now let's talk hemp quick. Hemp rope and hemp clothing. Hemp as a product and being made into products has literally been around forever.
So does a hemp farmer get banned from owning guns too?
No, that's a good question. I mean, you'd have to smoke like the entire field to even get a buzz, from what I understand.
I mean,
I can't understand why we can import hemp products, but they don't want us making them here. I got no issue with raising hemp. I mean, really?
Yeah, I just call them hemp burners because it's kind of associated with people. When I was younger, a lot of people call them hemp burners. So
I can tell you right now, you get a good old hemp rope. That's a hell of a good rope. It lasts forever. It really does.
All right.
What'd Kevin have to say here? The old lung blower, the Biden 9mm lung blower. There you go. So, all right. Why don't we give a little love to our sponsors, all of them here? That we'll go ahead and play a ad for each and every one of them and thank them, and then
one for each of you.
All
right, Clay. You want me to hit that one, or are you going to do them all three here?
How'd it work last time? Okay.
You might as well do them. It was coming from your end there. It was kind of janky, but blurry. Okay. It was not janky, but blurry. But go ahead and do it.
We'll give it a try here.
You bet. Guns in the 701 is proud to be sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. If you can't stop by, feel free to give them a call at 701-258-6308. Doug and the guys are ardent Second Amendment supporters and will always shoot straight with service and fair pricing. It's been a long winter with lots of snow, ice, and rough roads, so now's the time to get that alignment checked from the curb shots, potholes, and bumpy snow-covered roads. Summer will be here before you know it, so get that rig scheduled for an AC charge. Make sure and tell the guys at Lowry you heard the sponsored Guns in the 701 and thank them for supporting and promoting our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota, 701-258-6308. Your North Dakota proud, patriotic auto repair service.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by The Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, The Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be changed. Looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
We back. Now, Clay doesn't have any audio there. I don't know if he's got it muted or what, but
I forgot to take that.
Okay,
this is not the smoothest show tonight. Anyway,
I'm feeling like it's not smooth either. We got something's got to pick up here, change, man. If you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm not feeling it tonight. Neither's Clay.
I'm not either.
It's kind of pissing me off, actually, Clay.
It's been a real shitty week.
I like Leon's comment. What was he say? Is this some poochie pothead something?
Yeah, I was laughing at that during the break. What is it? Some hippie loving patchouli, not patchouli, patchouli smelling form. Let me give a shout out to Dougie, Laura right there. And Doug, look at here. And he's gonna need an AC.
Yeah.
So
damn,
get some more.
Hey,
I
man,
love
everybody out there listen, you get to Bismarck anywhere. You go down there, Lauer Auto, like Leon does.
Yep.
Support a company that's supporting your second. Not like supporting, he helps promote Second Amendment rights. So down Lauer Auto Repair. And if you go into any of our sponsors or do business with them, tell them you appreciate them sponsoring a program like this.
And hey, Leon, you're looking for some 300 win short. Tell you what, Jamie, why don't you send Leon Mandan Sporting Goods, you can check it out too. I mean, obviously, but 1760 Sports, he
Mhm.
carries quite a bit of ammo, and he doesn't move it near as much. So he's been able to kind of keep those prices under the level. So I'd give him a number if you would, Jamie. You've got Leon's, right?
Yep.
Just send him Dave's contact
I
information.
might be going to Mandan tomorrow, Leon, on something for work. I'll swing in there and check
Yeah,
for you too, or
check it
I'll
out.
send Brandon a text too. And 300 short mag. What are you doing with that artillery piece, anyways?
Oh, you MV, you. It's a weapon of war.
The rifle is guarantee you that. Oh, okay. I love. Okay, now I'm feeling picking up a little bit, man.
I can tell you one thing. Speaking of weapons of war, the
Mhm.
50 BMG, I am looking forward to this hunting season, and I can give you guys a little clue. We pulled that bill, and we told you when things were settled down. So one of the proclamations was actually signed already, and now we just got to sign it for the deer. I believe it's deer.
Yeah, the Peterson
elk.
proc.
We have the Peterson proclamation, right? So we will be allowed to be using 50 caliber now. I mean, it was already 49. You could already use a 49. We bumped it up to 50 now. So you will be able to hunt big game in the state of North Dakota this year with a 50 caliber rifle. And we're looking forward to it. I believe Eric's brother is going to try to do this with us, Eric Newman with Ryan. And we're going to go out and try to, if nothing else, we'll get a doe because anybody can get a doe tag.
Yeah.
And we'll
You
go
blow
out
the
here
head
on my
off.
place and
There won't be nothing left.
show everybody how it's done. I think it'll be a lot of
Hey,
fun.
speaking of Eric, put his comment up there about his wheel alignment.
I
I need a wheel alignment, but I'd go through 2 sets of tires just getting up to Bismarck, he says.
Well, then you can get a new set of tires too.
Yeah. Hey, Dougie, I can get you hooked up with some tires too. Come on now.
I know I don't think Dougie's got tires, but I think he's got a place that you can go to for him. If I remember right, is what he told me. Well, what's Leon? What can he say? Leon France is like 270 Winchester short mag or two.
Yeah, man, that's why I stick with common stuff. It's
I've shot the short mags. They were kind of a hot item for a while. We moved a lot of them into banquets because they were.
I was under the
latest
impression
creation.
Leon was a long action kind of guy anyway.
Yeah, no kidding.
Inside baseball joke
Yeah.
there, folks.
Oh, I know exactly what you were getting at. That's why we love Leon.
Oh, okay. See, now the second half of the show is kicking up here a little
Yeah,
bit.
we were like,
Yeah, I was feeling
no-
flat. God,
we were no
man.
energy Jeb, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. Man, I hate that when that happens.
I can tell you why. Part of it was for me it seems like everything I've done this past week and going into this week,
Mhm.
tractors break down. My camera went down, one of my barn cameras for whatever reason. I mean, it's just been little things. Alternator went out of a pickup, blew in hydraulic line on my other tractor, went to do the wheel on it that they'd locked up in December, got all the parts in finally. Well, they're not all in. None of them are the same. They're not the right parts for the tractor. So now tomorrow I got to make a trip to town, take them in, and I would love to chew someone's ass. I just don't know which ass to chew because I don't know.
Hey,
who's
be like
responsible.
Obama. Remember that time? I need to know who's out to kick.
That's right.
Hey, Leon, that short mag stuff. Look at there. See, now that's what I'm talking about. $60 a box is what he's
Wow.
paying for the short mag.
For
Hey,
20
man,
rounds.
get yourself a 6.5 Creed 308. I'm assuming you're gonna use that cannon for deer hunting or some kind of hunting.
Hell,
Just
you might as well have a 338
Creed
Lapua.
I mean, you'll kill them with 400 or 500 easy with the other ones too, man.
Get
You
a
don't need
Lapua. Probably cheaper than $3 a round.
Yeah, if you're gonna go that big,
If you're reloading, I reload.
just get yourself a Lapua if you're gonna go that big.
Oh my goodness. Well, bigger's better, right? Right?
Yeah, a lot of times. All right.
Read more.
Oh, quit
Uh-oh,
thinking, man.
uh-oh.
Drop the hammer, LF. Do it, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a big Creedmoor man too, and a 308. I love both of them. They're mass quantities of them out there.
Corey, welcome to Farming Rant. Oh, I know, Corey. just the way it goes. And I refuse to buy this new equipment. It isn't any better. I've run that and all the electronics fail. At least this stuff's mechanical.
Air conditioning's a lot better than that new stuff.
Yeah. It's a crappy Freon, right?
Oh,
Yeah, Eric-
Newman, yeah, he likes that stuff too there.
He shoots a 300 Remington Ultra. He's been shooting one of them for years, right along with his 454 Casole. He likes that big stuff too. So, I mean, he's got 5 kids, so there must be something to it. But anyway,
Yeah, big old alpha male there. Hey, he looks good at that new Guns in the 701 cap on too. He sent me a picture. I didn't get a chance to throw that up on the.
he got a
on the
chance to pick it
social,
up,
but I
good,
will.
yeah. He got a shirt and he got a hat, so yeah. And Lynette, your stuff will be coming. It was supposed to go up there Monday with my wife. And we forgot to send the stuff up to Jamie, but we'll get it up to you. I think what I'm going to do, Jamie, is just like I said, get a box and drop several sizes in there of T-shirts and send them up.
I got to talk to you after the show about something too.
Okay,
anyway, look, Kenny's got a nice comment there. I like that. I love this comment, Kenny. Both my short mags were my first rifles, and they were the future. The future is gone. Exactly.
Yeah, they were a craze.
It's just like clothes and stuff, man. It always goes back to the old stuff and comes back around, man. Someday the 308 is going to be, because man, the 308 was all that for decades, and I got to say, and we're kind of getting off topic, but whatever. I'm cool with that. The Creedmoor does kick ass, and I was like Creedmoor. Bachmeyer and Jesse Flath were all about that Creed right away, and I was like, my dad got one, and that definitely won me over.
I mean, it's a gun you probably should have in your collection. It really is. I mean, I got one.
It's not going away, man. It's so popular.
It's going to stick around. I noticed too that it's whatever the writers write about. So let's take a good example.
Yeah.
The 6mm Remington. Yeah, we really went down a different rabbit hole, but that's fine. You got the 6mm Remington and a 243 Win. Which one's more popular? Right? It's the 243. There was also a 244. I don't know if anybody remembers that. All pretty close to the same thing, but the 243, and I forget which writer at the time, wrote about it. They're the ones that went and wrote about it and made it the latest, greatest, best round in the world. And that's when everybody read a lot of hunting magazines and shooting magazines, and therefore the 243 overtook the 6mm. I have 2 6mm. I love them. I've also got like 3 243s. I love it. They shoot the same bullet. And you can actually make one case into the other, but not the other way around. I love them. I think they're great. So that's just when you start talking about calibers, kind of depends on who writes about them. I mean, Elmer Keith, what did he make popular? The 270. The 270 gained so much, and it's a good round. I've had one for years.
Oh yeah, I don't have one, but I've seen him in action. I'm a big believer in 270s.
Made that round popular. I mean, he's the guy. And anyway, if you haven't read any Elmer Keith stuff, do it. It's cool.
The only thing I don't like about a 270 is that's an ugly cartridge when it's loaded up. To me, actually the 6.5 Creedmoor doesn't look that cool either, man. I'm a big. I think a 308 looks freaking awesome, and I do like a 7mm Rem mag cartridge. For whatever reason, it's just appealing to me. That doesn't. But yeah, I mean, I would say this too: having a 308, being a big 308 guy for many years, and now being a Creedmoor guy within 500 yards, I think, it's up to you. Then if you like a 30 cal or the Creed, and the Creed bucks away a little more, but drop and stuff's pretty close. Past that, the Creedmoor starts putting thump on it. But
I like my Creedmoor. I mean, I've used it to take several coyotes now. I've had it on the dog towns. There's nothing wrong with the Creedmoor. I know a lot of people catch a lot of hell. Oh man, what's the difference between a man and a guy with a man bun? Well, the man bun guy has a 6.5, right? But it just, I like my Creedmoor. I do. But I guess my favorite, and I'll tell you straight out, my favorite go-to gun, and it's probably because it's the very first rifle I bought, and that was my Winchester Model 70, chambered in 270. I'm deadly with that thing. I know that I grab that thing. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to drop whatever I'm at, going after, and I'm comfortable with it. Doesn't mean that I don't like my other guns, but that is my go-to round. And my I can tell you this, my 7mm08 is becoming my next go-to. I really like that round. I know Eric, who's on here, and he mentioned the 35 Wheeling, but I know that they've got some 7mm08s, and guys, the younger kids, like even my son, 13 years old, they can handle that gun. It doesn't kick the living crap out of you.
Yeah.
Corey,
Yeah, we got
yes, I love my Swift. I'm always going to love my Swift.
we got Bad Dad 701. Oh yeah, 308 is ultra sexy. Absolutely. Hey, Leon's right there too. It's aesthetically sexy. Right on, buddy.
And Corey
Right
with
on.
the 350 Legend. Yeah,
I
no,
want to shoot one of those, man. Those I do like those, and they come in the Ruger Ranch too. You can get the detachable
we
AR
can make that
mags,
happen.
and
We can make that happen for you. Me and Waylon Little Eagle, we own one together because we were looking. You know, hey, you want to go in on this? That's when they came out. I was like, yeah, whatever. So I guess I'm a half owner in one. It's an AR platform, but we took those down to Florida hog
Assault
hunting,
weapon.
Jamie. Assault weapon, and we assaulted some hogs in a big way down there. So
yeah,
you know,
Brian,
it's a great short range gun.
Brian, I agree. 25-06 is. I agree. As good as any of them, man. It just. I'm just not sure why that never caught on more than it ever did. Because my dad has one, and
I got two of
when I
them.
got back into deer hunting, I shot that, and that thing
It's
just
nice.
money.
I think the thing is with the 25-06, that's a great round. Absolutely, I've got a couple of them. One's in a Remington, one's in a Ruger. I love them.
My dad's
But I think the 270 took. You know, it's so close.
Probably
that's why it never caught on like it should have.
270's got in ballistics probably. So,
but yeah, I love the 25-06. It's. I mean, you know what? When it comes down to it, if I always tell everybody, what's the best round for you? It's the one you like to shoot the most.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%. I'm 223s I shoot most of the time.
7mm08 is deadly in my wife's hands and my kids' hands. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's of course, Kevin, the 30-30, one of the best in my area. And Kevin, I don't doubt that. The areas I've been in Pennsylvania, holy crap for trees. I mean that, and it's a great brush gun. You got that 30 caliber. It's got some knockdown. It's not got a lot of range, but hey, you know what? I like a good 30-30 too. It's just a lot of fun. Assaulted some hogs in a bad way.
That's what I was laughing at a little bit ago.
Oh, that's a lot of fun. Jamie,
all right, Clay.
You got to go with us one of these.
We're having some fun here. I'm going to ruin everybody's fun, and we're going to go on to our third topic here, Clay.
Tell you what, let's do a quick obscene profit timeout and say thanks to Law Auto, and then we'll come right back.
Right on. Right on. Guns in the 701 is proud to be sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. If you can't stop by, feel free to give them a call at 701-258-6308. Doug and the guys are ardent Second Amendment supporters and will always shoot straight with service and fair pricing. It's been a long winter with lots of snow, ice, and rough roads, so now's the time to get that alignment checked from the curb shots, potholes, and bumpy snow-covered roads. Summer will be here before you know it, so get that rig scheduled for an AC charge. Make sure and tell the guys at Lauer you heard the sponsored Guns in the 701 and thank them for supporting and promoting our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota, 701-258-6308. Your North Dakota proud, patriotic auto repair service.
All right, and absolutely.
Yeah.
You ain't going to find a more patriotic guy than Doug down there.
Nope.
And we appreciate him always. He actually chimed in here too. We appreciate him listening too. PRC might kill the creed.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
I mean, possibility. It is.
You know why it's not gonna? PRC rounds cost more. So
well, yeah. And Trampus, welcome back. He went out and checked calves. All must have been well. So
awesome.
And I'm still here. So either she had it and I was watching it, or
they're squeezing it off for you, Clay.
Yeah, I hope she had it and it's done. But yeah. All right.
Oh, all right. So yeah, let's go. You want to take lead on this, buddy?
We'll start out with it.
All right,
so
let's do it.
We've had this discussion in South Dakota, North Dakota, both. It's still the same way here, unfortunately, because we got a bunch of establishment rhinos. Guys, North Dakota's legislature, for being such a super majority of Republicans, it is not a super majority of constitutionalists, and it proved itself this year. This was probably one of the worst years for advancing good gun legislation. Now, there wasn't really any anti-gun legislation, but we were trying to expand and make it better. And what, 2 of those bills is all that actually made it anywhere, and they're still sitting there. So anyway.
Yeah. I might know who Bad Dad 701 is now. I just read the comment here. 25-06 can do most anything. However, the dry noodle oct love you long time. If you don't know German, dry noodle oct is 308.
308.
Love you long time.
So you know who this is, huh?
I think I
All
do.
right.
So, and
Well,
I'm not going
welcome,
to
Bad
disagree.
Dad 701. All
It
right.
does love you a long time. The 308.
And I can tell you guys, we're going to try to not go as long, and it has more to do with the fact that I need to actually get out to the calving barn. So,
Yeah.
all right, here we go. This is the last subject that we wanted to cover tonight, and this is the battle of eliminating gun-free zones in Wyoming. And as they say, that's going to continue. I imagine this will also continue in North Dakota because we can't give up. We'll just have to start changing out who we elect, hopefully. We made a good change in 31. We got Dawson in there, and Karen voted. She's in favor of it. So we're good in 31. So we just got to work on
I
another
mean,
district.
Wyoming's pretty conservative, and they knocked it down again, though. I
Yep.
don't understand what the hang-up is here with this.
Well, you still got places like Cheyenne, and Sheridan's turning purple, I would call it. Sheridan's not exactly a conservative place. You got Jackson out there, and that's the problem. Wyoming's got the same disease that most of us do in North and South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
The metropolitan areas are being inundated with leftists from California, Oregon, Washington, and name your crappy state.
Right.
So.
Well, right here when they're talking about the bill, eliminating gun-free zones across Wyoming is the most frequent piece of legislation that we've had to defeat over the years. Beth Howard of Cheyenne, a spokesman for gun confiscation advocacy group Moms Demand Action, which is a twisted, perverted name. She told the Cowboy State Daily, that piece of legislation has come back around and back around and back around.
But I love what the representative said there.
Yeah, Jeremy Haraldson.
Yeah, from Wheatland. And I used to go and help with a banquet at Wheatland, but he sponsored the latest version of this, House Bill 105, and he said there are already plans to try it again. He says, I'll run it until I win. Good for him. That's what I want to hear. There's a guy with a backbone and a set of balls, and he ain't afraid. So he lost.
Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. They do it. We can do it.
The Wyoming House Appropriations Committee on February 6th voted 4-3 to give House Bill 105 a do not pass recommendation before forwarding it to the House, where it died the same day.
Ouch.
So 4-3, I mean, it's a close vote. Unfortunately, I wish it was the other way. But yeah, I mean, so they've got the same problems, evidently, that we do, even in that state, which is diehard red. But you've got certain districts out there that obviously are not. So right now,
it died in their house. I mean, that blows my mind.
So you got the testimony. Go for it.
Oh yeah. So Wyoming law allows for both open and concealed carry without a permit in most places.
By the way, I'm going to add to that.
Yep.
That's for anybody. You don't even have to be a resident. As long as you're a legal, law-abiding citizen
it's dangerous.
who can have a gun and carry a gun, you can do it in Wyoming. So go ahead. North Dakota is not that way.
Hey, all right, Jason Lutz. I made it. Start from the beginning. Lutz. I'm sorry, Jason.
Start from the beginning.
The good news is, Jason,
the replay on iHeartRadio or our Guns and 701 website. Every single week.
I appreciate you making it better late than never, and I apologize for getting your name wrong. Okay, so some public spaces and government buildings won't allow private firearms. Some of those places include the Wyoming Capitol Building in Wyoming, courthouses, city council meetings. I said Wyoming on purpose.
I know
school zones and the University of Wyoming campus. So
sounds familiar, don't it?
Yeah, as public. This is what kind of get the Capitol Building, right? County courthouses and council. I mean, they're taxpayer funded buildings. If anywhere should let you exercise your Bill of Rights, your civil rights, it should be those places, right?
You would think, wouldn't you?
I've never heard him say it. A few people have, but my interpretation of what they get afraid of, Clay, is these people are going to come in here and they're going to be heated and they're going to have their gun on and pull it out and they're going to shoot somebody with it because there's going to be so much, like they say, you can't have it at a political rally.
The thing is, that can happen now.
Right.
They're not stopping anything. And this goes back to the same old argument. What have I always been preaching? A criminal is a criminal. They don't care about what your law is. If they're intent on doing harm and killing people, there's not one single law that's going to stop it. Murder is already illegal. Boy, that's working, right?
You got to make it harder for them to do it, Clay.
Yeah, because that'll work.
No, what you're doing is making it harder for a person who is not going to murder somebody to defend their own ass when one of these, evil bastards comes in there. So
You
So we
create
go.
soft. You create a soft target zone, plain and simple.
Yeah, and that's what the guy says here. Haraldson, who's the Haraldson again? I don't remember
Jeremy
what part.
here, he's a representative from Wheatland, which is
Okay,
south
okay.
of Gillette.
Okay, he says gun-free zones are essentially soft zones for murderers and mass shooters, and he's 100% correct on that. He's 100%.
Absolutely.
So yeah, then this teacher here, this Grady. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you see what Senator Bo Bittman said? He's from Ranchester, and I know where Ranchester is.
No.
He said a disturbance in the Wyoming Senate chamber made him wish that he had his gun on him that day. And I can tell you right now, if I was in that Capitol building and, you're not allowed to carry even as it's the same thing in North Dakota. You can't carry, and in South Dakota as well. You can't carry as a legislator. I would feel a whole hell of a lot better if I could carry, because I know then that I can defend myself.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, I've been to that Capitol, both of them, and they think they're secure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, Eric had to go. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
He's got a township meeting. Go give him hell. Tell him to go after the county for raising your taxes so high on your property.
So, yeah, let's go a little further here. During a recent school assembly about active shooter safety drills, children were trying to grab police officers' duty weapons, said Grady Hutcherson, president of the Wyoming Educational Association, during testimony. I saw multiple students reaching and grabbing for holstered weapons of law enforcement officers. I was appalled. We had stuff like that when I was in school. Nobody did anything. Would even think of doing something like that, because back in my day, the cop would have probably grabbed him around the throat and slammed him against the wall and said, "What are you doing, you little scumbag?" Which is what somebody should have done to these punks.
My first thought was, why didn't the cops stop that? I mean,
that's what I mean.
Dan listens. I can't imagine Dan would let anybody touch his service firearm. I know. I mean,
yeah.
And the second, where were the teachers? Don't they have control of their class? I mean, that's, if it's appalling, well, let's find out why it's appalling and why it happened.
Yeah, it's appalling that you let it happen and that they'd even try it.
Absolutely.
When somebody reached for it, they should have grabbed onto their arm and said, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. And I mean,
Of course, moms demand Second Amendment prohibition, Clay. They want the gun-free zones to stay in place.
Of course they do.
Yeah, there's a good one for you. I know it's been characterized that more guns in more places keep people safer, but the evidence proves that's not true. No, I beg to differ, particularly with untrained people. Here we go, Clay, the untrained.
You're not worthy. You're not trained.
Haraldson disagreed, noting that in other states such as Colorado and Utah have allowed on-campus carry without any major incidents. Okay.
Right?
And Texas has done it. And we're going to get more into that training thing here on page 2 of this report here.
And Leon made he made the right the thing here. Kill boxes. That's what they are. They're kill boxes when they're.
Whose evidence, Leon? The Second Amendment prohibition gang's evidence. That's who. I mean, you know the old statistic about, because if that was the case, hey. Why go on?
I just liked what Leon said there. We were talking about the kids. He's, you can't touch those cotton-toed little darlings. And that is hilarious. But that leads to a huge thing. This is how we got here. I can tell you right now, I don't know about you, Jamie, when I was in school, I mean, we had a shop teacher to wrap you alongside the head, and he didn't care. He didn't apologize for it, and we deserved it. We did not have any respect for a teacher who didn't do anything. But the people who did, we respected them, and we did what we were supposed to do. Yep. Nowadays, every kid's told how great they are, even if they suck. They make a drawing of a circle and stick men. Oh, that's great. No, that sucks. You know what? Go out there and actually do something, then I'll frame it and put it on the wall.
That's a good analogy. I like that. So there's a teacher when I drive home from work, Clay, he lives right over by, he was my, I think, 7th grade, I want to say, geology teacher.
Okay.
And I see the guy. And the first time I saw him when my wife and we lived over in this part of town and where I worked, the business moved to a different location. I saw him. It made me think of that 7th grade. I still remember it opening. I can picture it clearly. I stood up. He turned around to walk to the front of the class, and I stood up and did something stupid. He turned around and caught me in mid stupid pose and said, come outside. Well, he took
Explained
me
life to you,
outside
didn't
there. He racked my ass up against the locker
Yep.
and pretty much told me if I do that again, I better be ducking because he's going to be swinging. And guess what? I never lipped off to him again. And when I see him every day when he's out in the summer, he sits out in his lawn chair. He's retired. And I wave at the guy because at the time it pissed me off, but I respect what he did. And he, I'm glad he did it because I was being a little shithead and he did what he had to do. But if he did that now, the kid would go bitch and he'd be fired. It's ridiculous.
Well,
but guess what?
Dan,
like I said, I never gave him trouble again.
Dan Brown did chime in on this. He's got the same sentiment as we do. They probably couldn't say no to the kids. Don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And that's exactly what's happening, guys. And Corey points out, now Corey went to the same high school I did. He talks about Mr. Thorne and Steve. Well, Stevie was our shop teacher, and Steve would take you into the finishing room and explain a few things to you. You came out with a different attitude. And Thorne, oh my gosh, he literally, I watched him throw a kid across the desk, and he had it coming. Jason could probably, I think he was in there when that happened. We were 8th graders, but he was a special forces guy. That's what he did in Vietnam.
Damn.
You don't want to dick with him. He was a wrestling coach, and he'd explain life to you too. And
there wasn't too many shop teachers that wouldn't give it to you the right way back in my day.
Well,
hey Mom, thanks. She gave us a good comment.
We've gotten to this point with kids where we tell them they're so great, they're little touchy-feely crap. We don't make boys into men anymore.
Right.
I mean, I can't even tell which bathroom to use anymore. A lot of them.
All right, let's keep going through this story
go ahead.
here. Okay, so training could be the key, they say. An enhanced concealed carry, quote, permit system could be the key to overcoming fears about letting at least some people carry in current gun-free zones, Harrelson said. Well, we tried that here in North Dakota, and they voted that the shit down, right, which is ridiculous because I thought their special training was what, So we get to the bottom here, Clay, and this is here's where my blood gets a little heated up. So this guy here, this Howard, remember him from page 1? What was he again? Or she? This Mom's Demand Second Amendment prohibition.
Yeah, Beth Howard of Cheyenne's advocacy group. Mom's Demand confiscation, as we call it. As you call it.
People who don't know what they're doing with firearms shouldn't carry them for defense.
Shouldn't carry them for defense, huh?
Okay, really, we have constitutional carry in North Dakota. Tons of other states do. We're 50 something now, Clay. The majority of them do. Yeah. Guess what? There hasn't been any problems with people carrying them for this. There's no problems. It hasn't been a freaking problem.
None. In fact, there's been more people that either hold a concealed carry license where they have to, or can carry constitutionally, that have stopped crimes or saved lives. I can't think of one, because it would have made headlines. And I mean, I can go search this, I guess, and see, but I can't think of one single person that held a concealed carry permit that has ever went and murdered people. Now, we got several that have done it that don't have a concealed carry and aren't even supposed to have guns, but they did it anyway. So
The Lynette's got one. I did go to Simley. Yeah, Lee Sellen, he had played football at UND, big rodeo. Yeah, he was a hard ass. He would. I mean,
well,
Mr.
Brian
Sellen did something. He would. Go for it, Clay.
Brian says, the strictest teachers I had are the ones we all remember the most because we learned real life lessons from
100%.
And you know what? We had respect. We had respect for them teachers, and we didn't try a lot of shenanigans. We had that mutual respect. And when we graduated, they're the people we thank the most because we got the most out of their classes. And heck, my government teacher, Mr. Earhart was fairly strict, but I learned a hell of a lot. I'm sure that's part of the reason I'm the constitutionalist. And now I see him in church every Sunday. It's actually kind of fun to see him this many years later.
Well, Clay, and nowadays it's the TV shows and whatever kids watch. Teachers are a joke. They make fun of them. And back in my day, you didn't make fun of teachers. But now that's the normal. Like like you're smarter than the teacher, and they're a doofus. And the same thing they do to dads, like a masculine dad, and so they try to make him look stupid.
Well, they try to degrade him, and it can't be that way. You should bow down to your wife. And
So let me get one more comment in here to heat you up a little bit, Clay. I believe that an armed individual without proper training is dangerous, not because they have ill intent, but because they can make mistakes.
Huh.
Really? That's totally unproven right there. completely.
So I guess all them people to get driver's ed, a lot of hours of driving, get a permit from the time they're 14 to 16 so they can learn,
Mhm.
have to be with a guardian or another licensed driver, and then still go out and have an accident, not even their fault, no ill intent,
Impossible.
but kill, 2-3 people in the other car. So should we get rid of their driver's license because they might hurt somebody?
Mhm.
I mean, really, think about it. And having a car isn't a right.
Well, Clay,
So,
how many stories since we started this have I had on happy endings, and I could have had multiple other ones of people with no training, with handguns, in fact, took out people with supposedly what you need, an AR-15, that you need an F-15 to take out with a handgun, with no training. Took out like somebody trying to, break into their house or kill their family or tried to do a mass shooting. They took no training. They bought a pistol.
Yep, maybe learn the functions of it.
You can have all the training you want, but until the shit hits a fan, you don't know how you're going to react. You might think you're Rambo, and then you might piss your pants, or you might think, I don't know if I can do this, and you jump right into action and go head first into it.
I can tell you a personal experience. I bought my first handgun because I wanted one, right? And it happened to be a 44 mag with a 10-inch barrel. There's a good starter gun. Ruger Blackhawk. And then I started shooting it, and I enjoyed it. And now I have several revolvers, several pistols. Then I started actually, and granted, I carried, I bought a carry gun, carried it. I never trained per se. The NRA allowed me the opportunity to take in a lot of trainings. We did a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's way different. I can tell you that. I have had to pull my defense firearm 3 different occasions. It's a hell of a decision. And it's not one you should take lightly. But I think if you do it, you better have the intent to take care of what you want. If you don't have that desire, don't pull it, because then you'll get into trouble. You have to mean it. And I don't know if you can ever be trained for that. It's probably a little better than the training exercises we did.
I'm not saying it hurts anything and don't do it.
No.
I'm just saying just because you do it doesn't mean you're going to kick ass and do it.
I think with a lot of people, it's instinctive. We have in our bloodline, in our DNA, we have a defense mechanism. We have, and I know some of the antis are going to disagree with this, but we have this compassion to protect others. I do. I mean, if I see somebody who's being wronged like that and I can save them with my firearm, I'm going to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's in our DNA. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
The training thing, it's a good idea.
Yep.
It's definitely not.
I agree. It's not something that should stop us from carrying in public places.
I got to read this one. Keith O'Donnell. Ain't fair. Some of the teachers these days probably deserve the torment because they're snowflakes. There's probably a lot of truth to that. And Leon agrees.
Yeah, replying to Keith, 100%. Corey Merriman, 100%. Clay, yeah, it's fight or flight. Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I mean, it came to fist fights. I was definitely more into the fight than the flight. But
I mean,
older you get, and
that's too where we get a lot of this. Let's face it. I know. I bet Corey, Eric, all them guys, Jason can all attest to this. Our big thing was you have a dispute with somebody, we'll meet you in the ballpark afterwards, right? Because that was what was near the school.
Yeah,
and we'd have a fight. And I can tell you, I had my ass whooped there because I probably needed it, but I also won a few. And I think that's what you get, where you get that mutual respect as you grow up.
Yeah.
You learn that the when you should and when you shouldn't. In fact, a lot of times, hell, nowadays, some of them guys I had fights with, I'm friends with.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we all grow up.
There's
but we're all good people because we sit around and talk about, geez, what the hell was it about? Oh, because we were stupid kids.
Yeah. Well, like Leon just said right there, we don't let boys work things out now.
Exactly.
It's exactly working things out meant throwing down or getting a wrestling match or whatever he had to do, and you got to get it out of you, man.
You get it out of you.
You got to know how to fight, anyways. You got to know what it's about. Unless you've never been bloodied or gotten. I mean, I've been in. I mean, not like I get in all these big fights, but I mean, I've been in a couple where I thought if I lose this, I'm in serious shit. And
I can tell you this right now: when you hit someone with your bare hand, it hurts. It ain't like the movies, guys. Especially if you hit them in the head. Your hand's gonna hurt. Probably swell up even.
Unless you got a couple bricks for hands like Marty.
Well, yeah, maybe Marty. But I can tell you right now, That's why these kids today go freaking crazy too. They probably
Yeah.
got a bad home life. Maybe they're in a they're not in a 2-parent home, whatever it might be. Their circumstances. They've never been allowed to work anything out because they're
I've never been told no either. So then when somebody
and
does,
then they flip. They flip the switch, and that's part of it. That's part of it.
Yeah, like when that social media, they got safe spaces now. Mike Tyson said that there's a lot of people to run their mouth and not get punched. And yeah, Brian, I think give someone a rap on the beak, you get a little respect around.
That's right there.
Yeah, I told Clay last week we got to do like a tomb this summer when stuff's slow. We're gonna do like a Guns of Tombstone movie or something.
I think it'd be fun to do that. That'll be a lot of fun. Do that.
Like Leon's comment. First time you get punched in the face, you start reorganizing your attitude real quick.
Yes, you do it, and that hurts. I can tell you when you hit somebody and you get hit, it hurts.
Yeah, I have no desire to ever get punched again. I mean, who knows? I'm sure somebody wants to punch me, but whatever.
And you're either going to get better at it or you're going to keep your mouth shut.
All right, Clay, let's hit some 2A bullet points here. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll tell you what, I'll lead off because we were talking about this earlier with the medical stuff. So this was a Freedom of Information Act request. And basically what it's showing is this happened in December 2019 is when the FBI was using forms called the Nix Indices self-submission form. So I had to look that up, and it's true. They sent that out to medical institutions. It allows an American to add themselves to the National Instant Criminal Background Check system. Can you imagine that? As a prohibited person without meeting the requirements for that designation. So you can actually submit yourself
Put me in
and say, disqualify me from owning a firearm, even though I've done nothing wrong. Now, a new Freedom of Information Act request by Gun Owners of America, they shared with the Washington Examiner what the FBI partnered with hospitals to get patients to sign away their rights. And that's what this whole thing's about. I mean, this is a CTA, or a Second Amendment bullet point. I'm not going to go into everything in there, but medical facilities in New Hampshire, Delaware, Massachusetts, Oklahoma used these FBI-supplied forms to have patients sign away their firearms rights between 2011 and 2019. The citizens would sign this document stating that they are a danger to themselves and others. Many gun rights advocates worry that these Americans could have been pressured into giving up their rights or misled about what they're signing. Well, they absolutely were misled about what they were signing. This was just another ploy by, as far as I'm concerned, it's a militant FBI today. And another way that they get you out of that list, I bet money it's hard to get away and get off of that list. So if you want to look this up, guys, all you have to do is go to AMOLAN Shooting Sports News, and they'll then just put in the Freedom of Information Act showing that the Nix indices a self-submission form, and that article will pop up and you can read it for yourself. But that's my first 2A bullet point tonight.
All right. So before I get to mine real quick, I'm going to read Leon's comment. Remember, guys, the Second Amendment has nothing to do with hunting. We have this 2A so we can protect ourselves against regimes like the one in D.C. that put barbed wire on our Capitol on, quote, Inauguration Day. Yeah, I got you, Leon, for sure. I mean,
absolutely.
I got a shirt, man. It says the Second Amendment. It ain't about duck hunting, and it's not about any kind of hunting for sure, which is what they try to make it out to be. But all right, Clay. So my first bullet point here, I got two of them they're real short ones. My first bullet point: we are guns in the 701. I do some bow hunting, and we do have some people watching who are adamant bow hunters, and I respect that. You guys are great. This is coming out of South Dakota, so members of the South Dakota Game, Fish, and Parks Commission have voted unanimously to place a limit on the number of out-of-state archery hunters who may purchase deer and antelope on public land in the state. With the new limit in place, the Game, Fish, and Parks will issue no more than 2,200 non-resident archery tags and 450 non-resident archery antelope tags good for use on public land. I'm not sure what they were before, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a fan of cutting down out-of-state tags for people. Because we got so many people in North Dakota who want buck tags, and these out-of-state people get them, and it pisses me off, actually. But I'm sure they must get more money for it. So,
well, I find it. I mean, I'm with you, Jamie. I've always thought that the state should take care of their resident first, and then if there's anything left over for non-resident. But yeah, they get a lot of money for those. But what I'm wondering is why South Dakota did that for the archers. Again, carving out a niche for archery once again. giving them exactly what we've been asking for in big game seasons for literally decades.
Yeah, it ain't anti-archery, my friends. It's anti-giving somebody a higher pedestal than the rest of us here. It's
I mean, I don't got any issue with bow hunting. My kids actually like to shoot bow, and that's
like
great.
I said, I bow hunt.
I'd like to know what the motivation was to do it in the bow hunting community, the archery season, rather than doing it in the rifle big game season. It's just interesting.
Last week, and here's my second one, Clay. Like I said, it's real quick. Joe Biden renewed his push for a ban on, quote, high capacity magazines Sunday morning, suggesting there is no recreational, for God's sake, for 100-round magazine. Hey, Joe, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If you
there goes that one.
Or if you or any Democrat can find the word recreational shooting or hunting in the Second Amendment, I'll give you every single freaking, quote, assault weapon I have. That has nothing. Recreational shoot. As far as justification for 100-round magazine, if somebody broke into my house and all I had was a 10-round magazine, I wouldn't be like, man, I wish this was a 5-rounder. Or if I had a 100-round drub mag in my AR, I'd be like, God, I wish they'd ban these damn things. I'd be like, yeah, I got 100 rounds. I don't know how many of you guys broke in, but you just broke into the wrong dude's house.
Yep.
Because I got a wife and kids to protect.
I mean, that's just it, guys. This is what this is about. The left, the tyrants, I call them commies, whatever, you know, choose your word. They don't look at it as a right.
Biden thinks you're sick if you got something like that, remember?
Sick. Yep, you're sick. And it's what it is it's the only thing keeping them from taking us over. Yep. I mean, it really is. They know that all of us are armed, especially heavily. I'm proud to say I'm
Which
heavily
we should
armed.
be. It's our right to be that way.
It's our right to be that way.
We're not as armed as we actually should be, according to the Second Amendment, but
yeah, I
because of arbitrary
things
laws.
I should have, but yeah, we got arbitrary regulation. But it's well, like here, Kenny Lanou, it's a start. After it shows success, they can apply the law to guns. North Dakota should do the same. I started bow hunting after going 6 years without a rifle tag, and I hope that's what I'm hoping that's what that's about. I just thought that they were actually. I thought it was interesting. I picked that first.
State residents should get a preference over out-of-state people, in my opinion. Whatever, call that.
I do too.
Segregationist, Leon, or I don't know, whatever word you want to use.
Leon's right. These people aren't dumb, and they're not. Right. Never, ever.
He's right. He's 100%
these leftists for being dumb. I hear people say that.
Yeah.
I remember people say, "Oh, Obama, he's a moron." No, Obama was not a moron.
No.
He actually was a smart guy. He was wrong. He was a leftist. He was a tyrant, but he wasn't dumb, and that's what makes it even worse. That they want, and they do. They try to convince everybody that they're right and that their way is the only way. We don't have any rights, especially don't have rights, and that they have the right to tell us what kind of gun, what make, how many magazines we can have, how many guns we can have, how many rounds you can put in, what caliber. I mean, they want to actually make it so you can. I've even seen bills introduced that never came to the floor in our Congress that limited velocity.
Oh yeah,
imagine
what
that.
What did you pass 100 yards for?
And
Jesus
it's like,
Christ, you
holy
can assassinate
crap!
people.
Yeah. So,
hey, Dougie, Friday, get that 100-rounder ready. We'll show everybody why it's recreational use for one, baby. All right, Clay. So we're gonna play here.
I know what we're ready. Are you ready to roll with it? Go with it.
Here we
Happy ending of the week. Here we go.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Happy ending story of the week. A man who tried to rob another man at gunpoint outside a Michigan liquor store was shot in the chest by a concealed carry permit holder and eventually arrested. Police in Detroit, Michigan say they responded to a call of gunshots last month and found a victim with his hands raised over his head who told them he had a concealed pistol permit. The victim told police that a man with a ski mask and Detroit Lions jacket had followed him and his friend into a liquor store and then back outside before pulling the gun on him. The suspect said to have pulled out a gun and threatened to kill the concealed carry holder's friend unless the concealed carry holder turned over his wallet. Police say Josh Fordham was shot in the chest while trying to rob a concealed carry holder. Then he pulled out his pistol, shot the guy in the chest. Later, Mr. Fordham was identified, and he went to the hospital. You know what? He was wounded. He wasn't deceased, but Right here, Fordham. Oh, I didn't see this part. Fordham is not legally allowed to own a gun and is facing a charge.
Ah,
What? He didn't
You
follow all of Michigan's great freaking gun laws?
he was already a criminal and did a criminal
Yeah.
act? Oh,
But its happy ending story is a law-abiding citizen shot this thug in the chest who was going to
Yep.
shoot his buddy. I guarantee it killed him and took his stuff if he didn't give it to him.
oh, absolutely.
And guess what? I mean, we went to the hospital. Look, the law-abiding citizens are doing good. The other goon, he better go to prison now for a while. I mean,
I would think so.
but I think Detroit has one of these George Soros people running the prosecution.
Like
So
New
who knows
York?
what's going to happen there?
But still, happy ending of the week.
Yeah. Like I said, happy ending is law-abiding citizens
Oh,
defending their lives with a gun. The crook turned out bad in the hospital, was ventilated in the chest. Unfortunately, he
Awesome.
lived, but whatever.
lung blower.
Must have been a 38 or something. Not that 9mm didn't suck his lungs out.
Doug just said
right
it.
there it was.
Must not have been using the 9mm. So
I love it.
All right. Well, guys, I tell you what, I just got a note, and I have got to go to the calving barn for sure now. But that's life here. It's calving season. But I guess I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we want to thank our sponsors. You want to read them off there, Jamie?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Blind Guy in North Dakota, Lauer Auto Repair here in Bismarck, and Mandan Sporting Goods on Main Street in Mandan, North Dakota. That's right, Leon. He was a lunger. He is a lunger.
He's a lunger.
And don't forget, every Friday we're on Mitchell in the morning on KFYR 550 AM radio. That's at 8:40 AM Central, 7:40 AM Mountain Time. And every Monday we're on KFYR Plus live with Jay Dillon on In the Crosshairs with JD and Clay.
And we had a pretty good episode last week. Unfortunately, it wasn't a technicality on our end, it looked like.
No,
Looked like they were locking up on
yeah,
their
it was
end,
all janked out on there. It was. I don't recommend going to listen to it. Actually,
I'm just
I
gonna
hate to
throw
say that, but
these are a couple of memes that we got posted on the website there. That was kind of funny. There you go, canned goods. This one's awesome, guys. Yeah, hey, come on. That's sometimes I think that's some of the guys that are like, oh shit.
yeah, that's my dad. I think Big Daddy 701 actually sent me that picture of my dad before I met up with him. But yeah, my dad's a character. He's
And of
always
course,
good for me.
Coming up Friday, guys, like I said, now Todd's not going to be there this Friday, so we're going to be with Jesse. And
Jesse's going to probably let us on, and it's probably
Yep.
going to be Clay and JD for about 12 minutes of
yeah,
getting on it.
but it'll be a good 12.
Yeah, I tell you what, one of the things I want to talk about, Clay, is Australia shut down airspace over their freaking military base to test fire a 50 cal, and you and I in action are out blowing that thing off in all hours of the day. So that's going to be one of the things we're going to cover.
They really did that. I mean,
Thanks, Keith.
for this.
right there. Yeah.
For
These
our
guys shut
podcast
down their-
listeners, we're showing a picture of us shooting the 50 cal tracers with one of our
Yeah, that's a
sponsors.
badass picture.
That was
I
a lot
love
of
it.
fun.
I love it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're gonna have to call it a night tonight. Like I said, I've got to run and
Yeah.
see what's going on down there. But thanks again for listening. We'll be back here Wednesday night, of course, 6:00 p.m. Mountain Time, 7:00 Central. And as always, Jamie, what do we say?
Keep your powder dry.
Dry. Catch everybody next week, and don't forget to tune in KFYR 550 AM Friday morning, 7:40 Mountain, 8:40 Central. We'll catch you guys soon.
Thanks, everybody.